Hello and welcome to What If series day 15, and we're talking about today, what if you took personal responsibility? Now this is a big topic and one that can make people feel very uncomfortable, and it can appear to be quite challenging. So I just want to make it very clear that I'm just opening your mind up to a different perception, and however you take it is perfect for you. So have you ever done something that you felt really guilty about, or do you find yourself apportioning blame elsewhere because you feel ashamed? Do you frequently use words like if, when, or but? It's very easy to blame our circumstances on something outside of ourselves. But what if you took personal responsibility? You are where you are because of decisions that you have made. Now, notwithstanding things such as the parents you were born to, or the country or the place of birth, and decisions that were made for you as a child that were outside of your control, the rest of your life has been your creation. And this is, like I say, always a very difficult conversation to have, because people can perceive it as a judgment and respond with, well, that happened to me and I had to, or if that hadn't happened, or if she hadn't, or there was nothing I can do. But there is always something we can do, because second by second we have choice. We have the opportunity to make choices that will determine our future. What we eat, what we say, where we go, what we don't do, what we do, who we hang out with, where we decide to live, what college we go to. All of those things are making our future. Often, however, we don't understand that our decisions today are creating our tomorrow. So where are you putting blame? Let me give you some examples. If I didn't have this job, I would be, insert something that you like here, spending more time with my children, working out, doing something that I love, or you'd be happier or richer. Well, if he had not X, Y, and Z, then I wouldn't have had to spend our whole marriage nagging at him, and we'd still be together. If the doctor had picked up my type 2 diabetes earlier, I wouldn't currently be having my leg amputated. If he or she had done this, then I would have done this or that, and I wouldn't be in this shitty situation now. If I'd believed in myself, I wouldn't regret not truly living. Now, I know that you've probably had a conversation that included some of those words. Why? Because I, for one, spent the first 30 years of my life like that. And all I created really was a life that was full of anxiousness and, arguments and disagreements and unhappiness. And, as I say, generally that whole feeling underneath was anger, because I felt like there was no control. And I have these conversations over and over again with clients, with friends, with family, and it's time to stop. It's time to take personal responsibility. Now, I'm not responsible for the way that somebody responds to me, but I am responsible for the way in which I say something, or the way that I express something. So here's an example. If I'd been honest with myself years ago, the relationship that I was in would never ever have lasted that long. If I hadn't have felt the need for external validation, I wouldn't have done things that I felt so guilty and shamed about for so long. We always have a choice about whether we react or whether we respond. The decision to listen to somebody else's opinion, whether we agree with it or not, whether we stay or whether we go. Do we leave the job we hate regardless of the money? Do we leave the relationship, or do we attempt to repair it? Do we listen or do we ignore? Do we choose excitement or do we choose habitual comfort? Do we choose nutritious food or fast food? Or do we say I love you or I hate you? Every decision, no matter how small, is having a cumulative impact on the quality of your life. So let's have a look at, why are you blaming? Why is taking personal responsibility so hard for us? Is it because we don't want to appear wrong? Is it because we know that we might have to give somebody an apology? Or perhaps it means we've got to make a really difficult decision. It's likely going to rock the status quo, because you need to drop these false justifications of why you are where you're at, or why you did what you did. But ultimately, the person that gets most hurt in the long game is you. You're the one that has to live your reality 24/7. You're the one that will have to potentially live with regret. You're the one that's going to experience the physical dis-ease in your body because of all the anger, worry and resentment, and the if only I had. And you can replace that if only I with if only she, he, they or it. Doesn't matter which way you look at it. But now it's time to turn it all around. Decide today that whether you like it or not, you created this current reality. Forgive yourself. You did what you did at the time with the resources that you had available. You didn't know what you didn't know. But be warned, some may take it and some may not. If you want to say sorry to everybody that you might have come into contact with that might have been part of that journey, I would really recommend that you say sorry. if you feel that that's going to benefit you, because saying sorry always benefits us, and you have to be willing to release the need for them to say, I accept that apology, because maybe some people just won't. Now it's time to make that decision about how you live differently today, how you start becoming a conscious creator today. Go through these exercises just one step at a time and just start to identify some of the steps that you can take. So number 1, write a list of all of the people, the experiences, the circumstances that you have blamed for something that you perceive has gone wrong in your life, or that is wrong with your life. So that could be a pretty big list, right? For each list, write down all of the ways where you were a part of that. Maybe you should have made a different decision. Maybe you could have done something differently. Maybe you knew it was wrong and you stayed because you was too fearful, because I'm pretty sure there's lots of us that have done that. So as an example, if you are in a job that causes you worry and ill health because of stress, you are ultimately choosing to stay for a reason. Normally it's financial security, but there might be other ones. But can you see that there is always another choice? Where do you know you need to forgive yourself? Forgiveness is a huge thing and it can block so many people. So where can you and do you need to forgive yourself? Who do you know you need to reach out to in person, handwritten letter, a bunch of flowers to say, I'm sorry? You know, don't do this by text. Don't do it by Facebook Messenger. Mean it. But who can you reach out to and say that you're sorry to? Identify the fear or the worry about making a different decision that would serve you better. So if you're in a predicament now and you know you want to make a different decision, but you're halting on that, what's the fear? What's the worry behind that? That's the block. You know, that's the gateway that you need to open. Make an action plan. How will you forgive yourself? When and how will you say sorry to other people involved? What decisions will you now make, and when will you act upon them? Maybe you want to create yourself some kind of vision for what you really want out of your life, because this can cause another problem when people aren't clear about what they want their life to look like. Maybe you want to do a vision board or keep a journal. Maybe you want to write a story or write it as a list. Maybe you want to draw a picture. What do you want that you don't have now in terms of things, experiences, people? What don't you want anymore? Again, you want to make a definite plan of action, even if it's just one tiny step at a time. And if you search Google, you'll find examples of thousands of people that have turned their life around. It's very easy when we're in that situation to say, you don't know what it's like, you don't understand. You know, I've spoken to 3 amazing women just today who experienced huge crisis, as in something happened that they had no control of. One was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. One gave birth to a child who was severely mentally and physically disabled, and she wasn't told. And they changed their lives for the better and have learnt from that. So they made their choices. So in the blog, which you'll find the link to below, you will find some links where you can get some more details on some people that have turned their life around. Your mantra for today is, I choose to be the creator of my own life, and my actions and decisions reflect that. I choose to be the creator of my own life, and my decisions and actions reflect that. I hope you found that of some use. Please do share this. Please leave me some comments. And again, I always invite you, if you're a woman in business or you're a woman who wants to embrace wealth and change her life, come find me in my Facebook group at Women Embracing Wealth. Until tomorrow, I'll see you then.